Good evening, you're watching Lookuptv. My name is Louis. It's time for the news.
The news headlines in association with
A look of news tonight. Supreme Court orders IEBC to allow Raila Odinga access to election result servers.
It is not the business of the court to determine who represents the IEBC in whichever formation.
The Supreme Court asked IEBC to resolve the internal wrangles outside court as Ruto's prayer to have more time during the hearing quashed.
And ODM's Abdul Somad Nasir wins Mombasa governor race as Fernandez Baraza bags the Kakamega governor seat.
Yippee! Kamata floating at 349k. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the City Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10k cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
All eyes are at the Supreme Court in Nairobi as the presidential petition kicked off. The pre-trial conference for the presidential election petition began today, laying the ground rules for the petition period. These include guidelines and time allocation. During the pre-trial conference, the Supreme Court consolidated the 7 petitions which were challenging the results of the presidential election announced by IEBC on August 15th. Here's Brian Amoy with the details.
It's what's supposed to set precedents for court battle challenging the presidential election results 8 days after petitions were filed at the Supreme Court of Kenya. On Tuesday, kicked off the pre-trial conference of the presidential election petition with a 7-judge bench formulating timelines and looking at issues to be discussed and determined in the main trial. The pre-trial conference held at the Apex Court Sub-Registry at the Milimani Law Courts saw representatives of the petitioners and respondents being taken through what will be included in the trial by the President of the Supreme Court Chief Justice Martha Koome. Martha Koome dismissed a number of petitions, including the petition of former Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria and President-elect William Ruto's petition that sought to have IEBC commissioners' affidavits struck out. During the pre-trial conference, Koome said the issues raised in the 7 petitions are parallel to each other and will be merged with the lead petition E005, which was filed by Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. The ending of the matter will therefore read as Raila Odinga and Martha Karua as the first petitioner. Other petitioners include John Njoroge Kamau, Youth Advocacy Africa, Helif Halifa, George Osewe with Ruth Mumbi and Grace Kamau, Okio Mtata with Nyakina Gisebe, Victor Okuna and John Maina, Julia Chege with Joseph Ndonga and Simon Njenga. CJ Martha Koome further noted that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua will be the first and second respondents respectively. The IEBC follows as the 3rd respondent, Wafula Chebukati 4th and Juliana Cherera the 5th respondent. The 6th respondent is Irene Masit, Julius Nyangaya 7th, Francis Wanderi 8th, Ayub Guliye 9th, Boya Mulu 10th and the Attorney General 11th. The amicus curiae, also known as the Friends of the Court, will include the LSK, Senior Bar Council, ICJ Kenya, John Walubengo, Joseph Sevilla and Martin Mirero. On time allocation, Raila Odinga and Martha Karua were allocated 3 hours for submission, with other petitions getting 30 minutes each. The 4 IEBC commissioners were given 1 hour to share amongst themselves, with IEBC getting 3 hours to share. William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua got 3 hours, with Attorney General getting 30 minutes. The Supreme Court, through Martha Koome, issued a draft of issues for determination in the presidential election petition, and that will be considered by the parties in the pre-trial conference. The issues include 1. Whether the technology deployed by the IEBC for the conduct of the 2022 general elections met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security and transparency to guarantee accurate and verifiable results. 2. Whether there was interference with the uploading and transmission of Forms 34A from the polling stations to the IEBC public portal. 3. Whether there was a difference between Forms 34As uploaded on the IEBC public portal and the Forms 34A received at the National Tallying Centre and Forms 34A issued to the agents at the polling stations. 4. Whether the postponement of the gubernatorial elections in Kakamega and Mombasa counties, parliamentary elections in Kitui Rural, Kachiliba, Rongai and Pokot South constituencies and electoral wards in Yaki West in North Imenti constituency and Kwanjenga in Embakasi South resulted in voter suppression. Whether there were unexplainable discrepancies between the votes cast for presidential candidates and other elective positions. Whether the IEBC carried out the verification, tallying and declaration of results in accordance with Article 138(3)(c) and 138(10) of the Constitution. 7. Whether the declared president-elect attained 50% plus 1 vote of all votes cast in accordance with Article 138(4) of the Constitution. 8. Whether there were irregularities and illegalities of such magnitude as to affect the final results of the presidential election. 9. What reliefs and orders can the court grant or issue? Brian Amuai, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
The Supreme Court today struck out a request by the 4 dissenting IEBC commissioners to file responses on behalf of the Commission. In a status conference, the court, however, allowed them to be represented by their respective lawyers. The Supreme Court has refused to be drawn into the infighting witnessed within the Commission, directing instead that the commissioners sort out their differences. The court has also objected to a request from Ruto's lawyers to be accorded additional time to argue their case, and as our reporter Henry Tende gives us the details.
In a status conference of the presidential petition filed by Azimio leader Raila Odinga, lawyers representing Deputy President William Ruto, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC), Azimio leader Raila Odinga and the Friends of the Court raised issues that needed direction from the court. On the controversy surrounding the electoral agency IEBC, the court has struck out the request by 4 IEBC dissenting commissioners to file response on behalf of the polls agency, allowing them instead to be represented by their own individual lawyers. The court additionally refused to be drawn in the infighting within the IEBC, directing the commission to internally sort out their problems.
As informally applied for leave to respond to 2 affidavits presented by the Attorney General in petition number E007 of 2022. With effect from today, the 30th day of August 2022, 2 p.m., as indicated in paragraph 3 above, the court will not entertain any further lodgement of pleadings.
With heated debate on whether or not the court should admit submissions filed outside the stipulated time, the court cited Article 48 of the Constitution on Administration of Justice and allowed the late submissions. This to allow all the parties to prosecute their case without prejudice.
On account of the dictates of Article 48 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, in respect of access to justice and the national importance nature of the presidential election petition, we direct that all pleadings that were filed out of time, including those that were filed by 2 p.m. today, be and are hereby deemed to have been filed in time.
Request from William Ruto's lawyers to be allowed to file responses in respect to Attorney General submissions in his capacity as a friend of the court was denied by the court.
Learned counsel for the first respondent, the Honorable William Samuel Ruto, has informally applied for leave to respond to 2 affidavits presented by the Attorney General in petition number E007 of 2022. With effect from today, the 30th day of August 2022, 2 p.m., as indicated in paragraph 3 above, the court will not entertain any further lodgement of pleadings.
The court additionally struck out request from President-elect William Ruto's legal team to have additional time to argue out their case. The court has, however, directed that the security apparatus provide adequate security for scrutiny of evidence. The hearing proper of the case is set from Wednesday this week. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
United Democratic Alliance, UDA, Rongai parliamentary contestant Paul Chebor is the Member of Parliament-elect for Rongai constituency. Chebor was declared winner after garnering 27,021 votes against his competitor Raymond Moi of Kanu, who got 14,715 votes. Chebor has promised to serve Rongai residents fairly. Wiper Party's David Mwalika has been elected as Kitui Rural Constituency MP.
UDA's Paul Chebor was declared as the Member of Parliament-elect for Rongai constituency.
From the above results, I want to declare Paul Chebor as the winner of MNA election Rongai constituency.
Chebor got 27,021 votes against the incumbent Raymond Moi of Kanu Party, who garnered 14,715 votes. The last Moi standing was seeking a third term as a Rongai Member of Parliament. Following his victory, Chebor plans to work for all residents of Rongai, regardless of who they voted for.
Tuavyo tangu nominations, tulirudia kura ya nomination mara mbili, tena hii imeahirishwa mara 3. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema ya kwamba tuko na ushindi siku ya leo kama UDA na kama watu ya Rongai. Nataka kushukuru watu wote wale wanipigia kura, hata wale hawakunipigia kwa sababu tu healthy competition. Nawashukuru sana. Mungu awabariki. Basi sasa tuanze kazi kusaidia wananchi na kusaidia watu ya Rongai. Na nataka kushukuru sana my party leader, the president elect, amesimama na mimi kabisa na wamesimama na watu ya Rongai.
On the other hand, Wiper Party's parliamentary contestant David Mwalika won Kitui Rural Parliamentary seat, garnering 19,745 votes, beating his UDA competitor Charles Nyamai, who scored 10,177 votes. In Pokot South constituency mini-election, KUP Party's David Kosing was declared the winner of the Pokot South race, beating UDA's Simon Kalekem.
Mr. Honorable Kosing David Losiakao, who got 28,225, becomes the winner for the MNA election held in Pokot South constituency.
While in Kacheliba constituency, KUP Party's Titus Lote carried the day, beating UDA's Mark Lomunokol. Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
Looming drought in Kajiado County has forced the county and the national government to convene a crisis meeting with more than 15 humanitarian and conservation stakeholders to try to find solutions to help save local residents and animals from starvation. Ian Ketanyi has a story.
More than 60,000 families and at least 450,000 livestock are facing starvation due to the ongoing simmering drought in Kajiado County. According to a survey done by the county government, at least 450,000 heads of cattle, valued at approximately shillings 13.6 billion, are on the verge of death, with 75% of wildlife affected and are dying of hunger.
Kama viongozi wa county hii na washikadau wa sekta tofauti tofauti, tukijadiliana namna ya kusaidia wale ambayo wameathirika kwa mambo ya kiangazi. Mambo ya kiangazi hapa Kajiado imefika level hatari ambayo hatua isipochukuliwa za dharura hata maisha za watu zinaweza kupotea.
This comes even as the county government has set aside Kenya shillings 130 million from the emergency kit to be supplemented by donations from stakeholders and the cash transfer program by the national government.
Kwa tunajua muda sio mrefu watoto wetu watakuwa wanafanya mitihani, na kwa hivyo chakula kwa watoto ya shule ni muhimu sana. Otherwise wale wanaenda kufanya mitihani watashindwa kufanya hizo mitihani, na baadaye tupate janga ya watoto ambaye hawajafanya vizuri katika mitihani zao.
At human and livestock death, the stakeholders have settled on short-term measures, including provision of relief food for vulnerable persons at a cost of Kenya shillings 1,400 per month, and supplementary feeding program for children under the age of 5 and breastfeeding mothers.
We have agreed that relief food to the affected communities, cash transfers to vulnerable persons, food to school-going children, and nutritional food for young children and lactating mothers need to be forthcoming urgently.
The drought emergency kitty will also support 280,000 school-going children, with supplementary food and livestock keepers receiving food and bowls to help in feeding their animals. Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
You're watching the news on Lookuptv. We're going to a break now. We'll come back with more. Azimio One Kenya has bagged 2 county seats. Abdul Swamad Nasir won the Mombasa County gubernatorial seat with 119,083 votes, with his key competitor Hassan Omar garnering 98,108 votes. And in Kakamega County, Fernandez Barasa garnered 193,768 votes, ahead of his close competitor Cleophas Malala, who managed 159,275 votes. Here's Moses Okech.
Celebrations began in earnest at the Kenya School of Government, the main tallying center of the gubernatorial elections in Mombasa County. All supporters graced their mood outside KSG to their winning incumbent governor-elect Abdul Swamad Nasir, who was the former Mvita MP in 2013 and 2022. While addressing his supporters, Nasir stated his readiness to work with his opponent in his tenure to better and transform Mombasa County despite their political affiliations.
Tunawapatia mkono tuweze kufanya kazi pamoja. Watano kati wa 6 ni wa Azimio ODM wabunge. Mbunge yule mmoja ambaye kwamba aliyoko tunamuomba, tunampatia mkono tufanye kazi pamoja.
Nasir, who garnered 119,083 votes ahead of his close competitor Hassan Omar with 98,108 votes, is hopeful that Raila's battle for presidency is still up.
We are of the firm belief that our president is Raila Amolo Odinga.
In addition, his allies stated confidence in their big win for Mombasa County and the Azimio coalition.
Out of 6 seats which were contested yesterday, Azimio has won 5 and Kenya Kwisha wamepata kiti moja pekee yake.
Sasa ni kwenda mbele, tumepata viti 2, Kakamega na Mombasa.
In Kakamega County, ODM's candidate Fernandez Barasa takes home their gubernatorial seat after a battle with 6 other candidates as he takes front-head in the southern region constituencies and 2 in the northern region.
Our county returning officer, Joseph Ayat, for making sure that we have free and fair elections.
Barasa, who polled 192,768 votes, followed closely by 159,275 votes from ANC party candidate Cleophas Malala, will take office from the outgoing governor Wycliffe Oparanya.
I know this journey was not very easy, and I want to appreciate all my competitors, led by one Cleophas Malala, for making sure that you give us a run for our money.
In a rejoinder, Malala, who was Barasa's cardinal competitor, has since conceded defeat and promises to work together for the betterment of Kakamega County.
Haswa mimi kama candidate kusema kwamba nimekubali matokeo ile ambayo imetokezana na ile kura ambayo tulipiga jana.
The 2 wins in Mombasa and Kakamega counties has proven the strength that Azimio Umoja One Kenya has in the regions as the incoming governors wait to be sworn in and start their 5-year terms of governance as the target of devolution awaits them. Moses Okech, Lookuptv.
Nakuru County Government has struck a phased deal with the Central Rift Matatu Owners Association for convenient operation within the Nakuru Central Business District, a move that has diffused heightened tension between the two. The Central Rift Matatu Owners Association Chairman Stephen Muli confirmed this yesterday. Operators plying the Nakuru-Kabarnet route have been permitted 2 buses at a time to pick and drop passengers within the city's Central Business District.
A few days after calling on the newly elected Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika to streamline the transport sector in the county, Nakuru Matatu Owners Association cries have finally been heard. The association's chairman Stephen Muli now says that in an effort to alleviate hardship among struggling operators, arrangements to streamline different matatu routes in the county are underway.
Hakuna milengo miwili katika Nakuru County. Mlengo ni huu. na wale walikuwa wameenda mlengo mwingine, safari hii tumewaambia wainue mkono juu na wakasema wameokoka. Hakuna milengo miwili, wameokoka na nimeamini kwa sababu ni mimi niwahubiria. Na nikaambia washukue mkono juu waape. Na wakaapa ya kwamba tutakuwa pamoja.
Muli has also assured his colleagues that the county government is committed to relocating them to a more convenient spot near the Nakuru CBD.
Ni kweli tunaunga mkono yale yote tumeambiwa. Na haswa yale gavana wetu alituambia. Na sisi tumeapa ya kwamba hatutamwaibisha. Ni lazima tuwe watu wako na discipline, na watu wa matatu wa siku hizi sio wale wa zamani. Manake matatu siku hizi are owned by people who maybe some of them have been working for the government, wengine ni retired teachers, na ni watu ambao wako na discipline. Kwa hivyo this time loud tunataka tuweke nidhamu ya hali ya juu.
In the deal with the county government, long distance PSVs from the North Rift towns of Eldoret and Kitale and those plying the Nakuru-Nairobi route will be allowed to pick and drop passengers or make stopovers at the main Nakuru bus terminus.
Matatu zitarudi kwenye mchi na already kuko na zile sabaringo zimeanza kurudi. Tumekubaliana matatu zitarudi in phases, sitarudi safari moja. Na tumekubaliana na enforcement yake kutoka county government, tumekuwa na watu wa planning kutoka city management, na tumekubaliana utaweza kushirikiana nao ili ya kwamba tuweze kukua na mpangilio. Na all stakeholders, all members of matatu SACCOs, all chairmen of SACCOs wameweza kukubali tuweze kukua na hiyo mpangilio. Hatutarudi safari moja tu, but tutakuwa tukirudi in phases. Leo Baringo imeingia na kumekuwa na amani na tunaomba hiyo amani iendelee.
On his side, Maunarok Nissan Sacco chairman Kimani wa Madhingira says Nakuru being a yardstick, the plan seeks to revolutionize the public transport sector into a rewarding venture for all players. Simon Olenasieku, the Kiali Backstage Traders chairman, has welcomed the move, saying it will benefit transport sector investors, their customers and other small businesses.
Sisi tunamrudishia shukrani kubwa sana Susan Kihika. Tunampatia heko pia mwenyekiti wetu Steven Muli ambaye amekuwa mstari wa mbele kupigania watu wa matatu. Na tunapenda kuchukua nafasi hii kusema kwamba hakika tumeumia kwa kipindi cha miaka 2.5. Wakati ambapo magari zilitolewa, vibanda vingi hapa viliweza kufungwa. Kuna wale watu waliwachana na mabibi zao. Kuna wale watu walihamishwa manyumba yao kwa sababu walikosa kulipa ile kodi ya nyumba. Kuna wale walichotwa kwa sababu walikuwa na madeni, na wengine wakawa na hata shida za akili. Unaona mtu anajiongelesha mwenyewe.
Olenasieku has further noted that the standoff between former Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui and matatu industry players was unhealthy, adding that a lot of people have suffered. The move is a sign that Governor Susan Kihika has swung into action barely a week into office.
Hivyo sisi tunafurahia kwamba Susan Kihika aliweza kumshinda Lee Kinyanjui na aliweza kumkunja mara 2 kama chapati.
Samia Dika, Lookuptv.
America's ambassador to Kenya, Margaret Whitman, has congratulated Kenyans for having a peaceful general election. She urged Kenyans to be patient as they await the Supreme Court's verdict.
On her visit to Kisumu County, Whitman praises presidential candidates on the smooth petitioning of the presidential elections results.
Incredibly impressed by the Kenyan process so far. The elections were held peacefully. The country seemed to be united around following the process. And every candidate, as I understand it in Kenya, has the legitimate right to file a grievance with the Supreme Court. That was done peacefully and thoughtfully.
She further clarified that the warning issued by the American embassy was aimed at safety of Americans living in Kisumu and not at painting Kisumu unsafe.
At all, we must issue alerts, but it's never targeted towards one particular group or area. It's because this is where we have the vast majority of our citizens and outside of Nairobi.
UDA takes over Nyaki Westward in Meru County as its candidate Frederick Mubuchi won the MCA seat.
I'm now the acting MCA Nyaki West. Nashukuru sana kwa kila mtu mwenye amekuja hapa, support yenye nimepata kwenu. Ati sasa mpaka saa hizi mimi naona nimepewa certificate kwa MCA elect wa Nyaki West constituency. Nimeshukuru sana na Mungu awabariki.
Recording a low turnout, only 9,700 of the 21,000 registered voters casted votes. In a tight competition, Mubuchi garnered 2,026 votes, followed closely by DEP's Lewis Githinji with 1,976 votes.
I am happy that we've won, and we want to invite everyone else. Don't feel conned in the opposition. We want you to come back to the front. We want the Mbas people. We want the independents and everyone else so that we join hands together to move this country forward.
Mudeunda Lana, Lookuptv.
Rooney's fight through the streets of Central Park in New York.
In the day's sport,